Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests and fellow dreamers, today we gather to celebrate the unbreakable power of dreams. Throughout history, every great achievement, every revolution, and every innovation has been born from a dream. No matter the barriers placed before us, whether physical, societal, or self imposed, nothing can truly chain a dreamer. Dreams are one of the most powerful forces in existence. They are the driving energy behind human progress, innovation, and transformation. A dream is not just a fleeting thought or a wishful desire, it is a deep seated vision, a fire that burns within the soul, compelling individuals to rise beyond their circumstances. Throughout history, we have seen how dreams have defied impossibilities. The Wright brothers, for instance, dared to believe that human beings could fly. Despite skepticism, failures, and countless setbacks, their unwavering dream led to the invention of the airplane, forever changing transportation and global connectivity. Similarly, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. envisioned a world where equality was not just an idea but a reality. His dream, spoken with passion and conviction, became a movement that reshaped the course of civil rights in the United States and beyond. Dreams have an incredible ability to break barriers because they exist beyond the constraints of the present reality. They are not limited by what currently exists, but instead pave the way for what could be. When an individual dares to dream, they challenge the status quo. They refuse to accept things as they are and instead envision a world of endless possibilities. However, the journey of a dreamer is never easy. The world often resists change, and those who dream big will inevitably face opposition. Society may tell you that your goals are unrealistic, that your vision is too ambitious, or that you should settle for something more practical. Yet, history has shown that every major breakthrough, whether in science, politics, or art, was first dismissed as impossible. The reality is that those who refuse to let go of their dreams ultimately shape the world. Dreams are more than just personal ambitions, they inspire movements, awaken potential, and give hope to those who have none. When people see someone relentlessly chasing their dream, it creates a ripple effect, encouraging others to believe in their own aspirations. A single dream, when nurtured with dedication and perseverance, has the power to impact not just one life, but generations to come. This is why dreams are unstoppable forces. They may be delayed, challenged, or even suppressed, but they can never be destroyed. As long as a person holds on to their dream, no obstacle is too great, no failure is final, and no amount of doubt can extinguish the fire within. Throughout history, the world has been shaped by those who dare to dream, even in the face of overwhelming adversity. These individuals were not just dreamers, they were visionaries who saw beyond their present struggles and refused to accept limitations imposed by society, circumstances, or even their own fears. Their stories serve as living proof that no challenge is too great, no obstacle too strong, and no setback too final for those who are determined to rise. One of the most powerful examples of this is Nelson Mandela. Born into a society where racial segregation and discrimination were deeply entrenched, Mandela dreamed of a South Africa free from the chains of apartheid. For his unwavering pursuit of justice, he was imprisoned for 27 long years. Many believed that would be the end of his influence, that his dream of equality would fade away behind prison walls. But Mandela's vision could not be contained. Even in isolation, his dream continued to inspire millions. And when he was finally released, he led South Africa into a new era of democracy and reconciliation. His story proves that even when all seems lost, true dreamers find a way to rise. Another remarkable figure is Helen Keller. Struck by illness as a child, she was left both blind and deaf, a reality that, in her time, would have been seen as a life sentence of dependence and limitations. Yet she refused to let her physical challenges define her potential. With determination and the guidance of her teacher, Anne Sullivan, she became the first deaf-blind person to earn a college degree and went on to become a world-renowned advocate for disability rights. Her dream of proving that disability does not mean inability has changed millions of lives, showing the world that no hardship is too great to overcome. In the world of science and technology, we see the same pattern. Thomas Edison, the inventor of the light bulb, was told he was too stupid to learn anything by his school teachers. He went on to fail over 1,000 times in his experiments to create the electric light. Yet, he famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." His persistence and unwavering belief in this dream lit up the world literally. His story reminds us that failure is not the end, it is merely a stepping stone for those who refuse to give up. Even in modern times, we see dreamers continuing to rise. Oprah Winfrey, born into poverty and facing countless personal hardships, was once told she was unfit for television. Instead of letting those words define her, she built an empire, becoming one of the most influential media moguls in history. Her story teaches us that no matter where we start in life, it is our dreams and determination that define where we end up. History is filled with countless stories like these stories of men and women who were told no, who were faced with circumstances that seemed impossible, yet they chose to believe in their dreams. These dreamers remind us that success is not reserved for the privileged or the lucky. It is claimed by those who are willing to fight for their vision. They prove that no matter how difficult a journey may be, those who hold on to their dreams will always rise. At the core of every great achievement, every groundbreaking innovation, and every life-changing movement is one simple yet powerful force: belief. Belief is the fuel that drives dreamers forward, the invisible force that pushes them to keep going even when everything seems impossible. Without belief, dreams remain just thoughts, ideas without motion, potential without action. But when someone truly believes in their vision, no challenge is too great, no failure too devastating, and no obstacle too permanent. Consider some of the greatest success stories in history. Every single one of them started with an individual who had nothing but a dream and an unshakable belief in themselves. Take Walt Disney, for example. Before he created his empire, he was fired from a newspaper job for lacking imagination and having no good ideas. He faced bankruptcy, rejection from investors, and years of struggle, but he never stopped believing in his dream of creating a place where imagination and magic could come to life. That belief led to the creation of Disneyland and the global entertainment empire we know today. The same can be said for J.K. Rowling, the author of the Harry Potter series. Before she became one of the most successful writers in history, she was a single mother living in poverty, rejected by 12 different publishers. Many would have given up, convinced that their dream was not meant to be. But Rowling's belief in her story and in herself kept her pushing forward. Eventually, her perseverance paid off, and today, Harry Potter is a worldwide phenomenon that has inspired millions. Belief does not mean ignoring reality or refusing to acknowledge difficulties. Instead, it means looking at challenges as temporary, viewing failures as lessons, and setbacks as stepping stones towards success. It is about knowing, deep in your heart, that what you are striving for is possible, even if no one else can see it yet. Belief is also contagious. When someone believes in themselves and their vision with unshakable conviction, they inspire others to believe as well. This is how movements begin, how revolutions take shape, and how history is rewritten. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. did not march alone. His belief in justice and equality inspired millions to stand beside him. Steve Jobs did not build Apple on his own. His belief in changing the way the world interacts with technology inspired a team that changed the industry forever. But perhaps the most important aspect of belief is that it must come from within. No one else can believe for you. The world will not always support your dreams, and in fact, many people may doubt you, discourage you, or try to convince you that your vision is unrealistic. That is why belief must be unshakable. It must be strong enough to withstand rejection, criticism, and even failure. Those who succeed are not necessarily the smartest, the richest, or the luckiest. They are the ones who refuse to stop believing in themselves. So if you have a dream, whether it is to start a business, write a book, become an artist, or change the world, your first and most important job is to believe in it. Because once you believe truly and deeply, everything else, perseverance, action, and success will follow. Failure is one of the most misunderstood concepts in the journey of success. Too often, people see failure as an end, a final stop that signals they were never meant to succeed. But in reality, failure is not a dead end. It is a stepping stone, a necessary part of the process that leads to achievement. Every great dreamer, every successful person, and every world-changing innovator has faced failure, sometimes repeatedly, before reaching their goals. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is how they view and respond to failure. Take Thomas Edison as an example. Before inventing the light bulb, he conducted over 10,000 failed experiments. Many would have given up after a handful of failures, let alone thousands. But Edison saw failure differently. He famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." His perspective turned failure into learning, and that learning led him to his breakthrough. Without those failures, there would have been no success. Another inspiring example is Colonel Harland Sanders, the founder of KFC. Before he created the world-famous fried chicken recipe, he was rejected over 1,000 times by restaurants and potential business partners. Most people would have walked away, thinking that maybe their idea wasn't good enough. But Sanders didn't see rejection as failure. He saw it as a challenge to keep going. Eventually, he found success, proving that failure only defeats those who stop trying. Even some of the greatest minds in history faced failure before achieving greatness. Albert Einstein was considered a slow learner as a child and was told he would never amount to much. Oprah Winfrey was once fired from a television job for being unfit for TV. Michael Jordan, one of the greatest basketball of all time, was cut from his high school basketball team. Instead of letting these failures define them, they used them as motivation to work harder and prove themselves. The truth is, failure is inevitable. No one achieves success without facing setbacks. But failure itself does not define a person. How they react to it does. Some people see failure as proof that they should quit, while others see it as proof that they are learning, growing, and getting closer to success. The most successful people in the world understand that every failure brings them one step closer to their goals. Failure teaches valuable lessons that success never can. It reveals weaknesses that need to be strengthened, strategies that need to be improved, and paths that need to be adjusted. Each failure is like a teacher guiding a dreamer toward the right direction. Without failure, there would be no innovation, no breakthroughs, and no true success. The biggest mistake anyone can make is to let failure discourage them to the point of giving up. The world is filled with people who gave up too soon, never knowing how close they were to success. But those who see failure as a stepping stone understand that every setback is temporary, every challenge is an opportunity, and every mistake is a lesson leading them to something greater. One of the biggest obstacles to achieving dreams is not external limitations, but the internal chains of fear and doubt. These two forces have held back more dreams than any physical barrier ever could. Fear whispers that you are not good enough, that you will fail, that others will judge you. Doubt tells you that your dreams are impossible, that you are not ready, that success is meant for someone else. If left unchecked, these mental chains can stop even the most talented, intelligent, and capable individuals from ever reaching their true potential. Fear comes in many forms. Some fear failure, worried that if they try and don't succeed, they will be embarrassed or judged. Others fear success, scared of the responsibilities and expectations that come with achieving their goals. Some fear stepping out of their comfort zones, preferring the safety of familiarity, even if it means staying unfulfilled. Whatever form it takes, fear is nothing more than an illusion, a mental wall that exists only in the mind. It has no real power unless you choose to give in to it. Doubt is just as dangerous. It convinces people that they are not smart enough, strong enough, or talented enough to pursue their dreams. It makes them second guess every decision, hesitate when they should take action, and settle for less than what they are capable of. Doubt is a silent thief, stealing opportunities and potential before they even have a chance to grow. Many of the world's greatest achievers battled fear and doubt but refused to let them win. Take Elon Musk, for example. When he first started Tesla and SpaceX, most people, including experts in the industry, thought he would fail. He admitted that there was a high chance both companies would go bankrupt. But instead of letting doubt stop him, he pushed forward, knowing that even if he failed, he would learn and grow from the experience. Today, both Tesla and SpaceX have revolutionized their industries, proving that the only real failure is never trying. Another example is Serena Williams, one of the greatest athletes of all time. She faced criticism, doubt, and discrimination throughout her career. Many people told her she would never succeed in professional tennis, but she refused to let their doubts become her reality. She trained harder, pushed through challenges, and became a global icon in sports. Had she let fear or doubt dictate her path, the world would have never seen her greatness. Fear and doubt do not disappear overnight, but they can be overcome. The key is action. Every time you take a step toward your dream, no matter how small, you weaken the chains of fear. Every time you push forward, despite your doubts, you prove to yourself that you are stronger than you think. Confidence is not something you are born with, it is built through action, through facing your fears and proving them wrong. At the end of the day, fear and doubt only have as much power as you give them. The real chains are not in the world around you, but in your own mind. And just like any chain, they can be broken if you choose to believe in yourself and take the first step forward. Persistence is the one quality that separates those who achieve greatness from those who give up too soon. It is the relentless determination to keep going despite difficulties, setbacks, and obstacles. No matter how talented, intelligent, or lucky a person may be, without persistence, their dreams will remain unfulfilled. Every great success story is built on a foundation of perseverance, proving time and time again that those who refuse to quit are the ones who ultimately succeed. History is filled with examples of people who faced failure, rejection, and hardship but kept pushing forward. One of the most famous stories of persistence is that of Abraham Lincoln. Before becoming one of the greatest presidents in American history, Lincoln faced repeated failures. He lost his job, failed in business, suffered multiple election defeats, and even had a nervous breakdown. Many would have given up after such difficulties, believing that success was not meant for them. But Lincoln refused to quit. He learned from every setback, grew stronger with each challenge, and eventually led the United States through one of its most difficult periods. Another powerful example is the story of J.K. Rowling. Before Harry Potter became a global phenomenon, Rowling was struggling as a single mother living in poverty. She faced rejection from 12 different publishers before one finally took a chance on her book. Many aspiring writers would have stopped trying after a few rejections, convinced that their work was not good enough. But Rowling persisted, believing in her story even when others didn't. Today, she is one of the most successful authors in history. Persistence is not just about trying once or twice, it is about continuing even when it seems like nothing is working. Thomas Edison, the inventor of the light bulb, failed over 10,000 times before achieving success. Instead of seeing these failures as signs to give up, he saw them as part of the learning process. When asked about his repeated failures, he famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." This mindset is what allowed him to break through barriers and bring his dream to life. In sports, we see countless examples of persistence leading to greatness. Michael Jordan, one of the greatest basketball players of all time, was cut from his high school basketball team. He could have let that rejection define him, but instead he used it as motivation to work harder. He practiced relentlessly, pushed himself beyond his limits, and became a six-time NBA champion and a global icon. His story is proof that setbacks are only temporary for those who refuse to quit. The power of persistence is not limited to famous figures, it applies to everyone. Whether you are working toward a personal goal, building a business, mastering a skill, or chasing a lifelong dream, you will face obstacles. There will be times when progress seems slow, when others doubt you, and when failure makes you question whether it's worth continuing. But in those moments, persistence is what will carry you forward. Persistence is about showing up every day, even when motivation fades. It is about pushing through discomfort, learning from mistakes, and refusing to let setbacks define you. It is about believing that every effort brings you one step closer to your goal, even if you can't see the results yet. Those who persist, no matter how difficult the journey, are the ones who eventually break through barriers and turn their dreams into reality. Every great change in history has come from individuals who refuse to give up, no matter how difficult the road ahead seemed. The world does not reward those who quit at the first sign of struggle. It celebrates those who keep going, who push past limitations, and who fight for what they believe in. Dreamers who refuse to give up are the ones who shape the future, break barriers, and leave a lasting impact on the world. Throughout history, we have seen countless examples of people who could have given up but didn't. One of the most remarkable examples is Mahatma Gandhi. He stood against British rule in India, not with weapons or violence, but with an unbreakable spirit and a belief in nonviolent resistance. The British Empire was one of the most powerful forces in the world at the time, and many thought Gandhi's dream of independence was impossible. He was arrested, beaten, and faced unimaginable obstacles. Yet he never gave up. His persistence led to India gaining its independence, proving that even the mightiest chains can be broken by those who refuse to surrender. Another powerful story is that of Malala Yousafzai. Born in Pakistan, she believed in the right of every girl to receive an education. However, extremists in her country did not share this belief, and they tried to silence her by attacking her. But Malala refused to be intimidated. Instead of giving up, she became an even louder voice for education and women's rights. She went on to win the Nobel Peace Prize and continues to be an inspiration for millions around the world. Her story shows that those who refuse to give up can spark movements that change the world. In the world of technology, we see the same pattern. Steve Jobs was once fired from his own company, Apple, the very company he co-founded. Many would have seen this as the end of their journey, but Jobs did not give up. Instead, he continued innovating, eventually returning to Apple and leading it to become one of the most successful companies in history. His persistence redefined the way we use technology and transformed industries forever. The world is not changed by people who settle for less. It is changed by those who refuse to accept mediocrity, who dare to challenge the status quo, and who continue pushing forward even when the odds are stacked against them. These are the people who invent new technologies, fight for justice, and inspire future generations. They prove that no obstacle is too great, no dream is too big, and no challenge is impossible for those who are determined to make a difference. But changing the world doesn't always mean leading a revolution or inventing something groundbreaking. It can also mean making a difference in your own community, inspiring those around you, or proving that dreams are worth pursuing no matter how difficult the journey may be. Whether in small ways or on a global scale, those who refuse to give up create ripples that grow into waves of change. No chains can hold a dreamer because the power of determination, belief, and perseverance is greater than any force that tries to hold them back. The world belongs to those who keep going, who keep fighting, and who never stop believing that they can make a difference, that the journey of a dreamer is never easy. There will be obstacles, failures, doubts, and moments when giving up seems like the easiest option. But history has proven time and time again that those who persist, who believe, and who refuse to be held back are the ones who leave a lasting mark on the world. Dreams are not bound by circumstances, by failures, or by the opinions of others. The only true limitations are the ones we allow to exist in our minds. When a dreamer chooses to rise above fear, push past failure, and persist against all odds, they become unstoppable. They prove that no challenge is too great, no setback is permanent, and no chain is strong enough to hold back a determined heart. So, to every dreamer out there, keep going, keep believing, keep fighting for the future you envision. The world needs people who dare to dream, who refuse to be shackled by limitations, and who are willing to chase their vision with unwavering determination. Because in the end, no chains can hold a dreamer who refuses to be bound.